Good evening and welcome to a very... Hello. That for you, mate. Welcome to a very happy Mancunian way where Manchester City are tearing up everything that is in front of them. Evening, gentlemen.
Jeffrey's apart again.
We are all right.
Great win. Great win. That's all I can say. Great win.
Karaoke with Alan.
Yeah.
What's this turned into a... Anyway, Ozzy, start with you. How are you, mate?
I'm good, thanks, Martin. I'm feeling better than I have in a few days. So I haven't been particularly well, but a lot better.
Can I just say, Martin, before you kick off?
Yeah.
Yeah. Andy, you can say what you like, but we can't hear you, and you froze.
Andy, you're frozen, mate, and you're stuttering.
You've gone 56k again, mate. You've gone dial up.
Yep, you've gone dial up. Really slow. Put your Wi-Fi.
No, what it is
Wi-Fi.
Andy's currently live on TikTok as well with us. We are currently live on the 9320 Pubcast TikTok. Thanks to Andy.
Yeah.
Well, it's slowing down his internet by the looks of it.
Yeah.
Big
time.
Well, just while we get Andy back.
Andy, you make you frozen and you can't hear you. Seriously, mate. Switch off and come back.
Hey, also, you're frozen.
You're frozen for the last 2 minutes.
So we just be quiet, Ozzy.
Might as well.
Alan's taking on. Alan's become host.
So what do you think, Martin? You were at the game?
Anyway, Chiffy boys. We'll deal with that little problem. Billy Big Balls all of a sudden. Get down on the phone. Don't give me all this happiness now, because I'll start reading out the WhatsApp chat from about an hour ago. Because
I can imagine he was losing his head.
Please.
I was about 68 minutes in.
Shit, this.
Dominated.
What's going on?
That 5 minutes more like it in, and you were probably losing it, Alan.
We're going to concede here.
I know what it was until we scored the 69th minute. When they came out second half, we were asleep.
I watch another game to everybody else. I mean,
if you didn't see it, they had more possession up until the 69th minute, more shots.
He's going to mention it.
And Alan, let me guess, you would have started bricking it when they brought Mane on as well.
Well, I think once we scored our second, when Upamecano, I'd just like to say thank you to Upamecano for giving us the win, because with his cock up at the back, it helps us.
Meccano.
Should we just all leave and leave this for an Alan to do an Alan post on his own here?
Yeah. I should have been on watch along. There we go.
Martin, yes. What's this news about Bellingham? I keep seeing comments. I've not seen anything, mate, because I went straight through the stream.
I'm not talking.
I heard whispers of it in the pub.
It's all bullshit. We're not going to talk about it until the end of the season, please.
Sorry, Martin.
Let's talk about the game.
I sort of got confusing messages off you, Martin.
You don't make the rules anymore, mate.
Whoa, what a time! Whoa!
Hey. Ooh, he stinks.
Can we talk about the game?
Yeah.
Right, forget about that balloon head at Dortmund to the end of the season, please.
Balloon head?
I mean,
we'll talk about it later. We've got to talk about this absolutely.
Who died and put you in charge of the channel down there?
Me.
You can be quickly kicked back off as quickly as you got back on, Sunshine.
Right, kick me off. I'll just get back to work.
Scummy there, Sunshine.
It's all right. I'll go to the coffee shop down the
road. Right, of course, Manchester City. I know I put it in the thumbnail, so I thought we did. Destroyed Bayern Munich. Destroyed Bayern Munich.
Don't know about that. Don't know about that.
I think we could have had 9 to die.
I'll be honest with you. If it wasn't
Andy,
No,
Andy.
it's not possible.
take your blinkers off, pal.
Listen. Right, do you want
Someone
me
else deal with this, please. Please, right. We just had one of the greatest results ever in our history, and Mr.
Classic
Misery.
start to the show.
Right.
Fantastic. This is.
Do you want me to kick off while I've got a beanie bonnet then?
Yeah, go on then. You get going.
Right, Alan.
You put Alan in your bonnet as well.
Alan,
Please.
Yes, mate.
You know.
you're saying I've got blinkers on. You must have shutters on yours, mate, because that was an absolute masterclass from us, from every single player.
They played, mate. Great result. Great result.
But you know something? What I was more pleased, well, just as pleased about Ederson, because I've been one of his critics.
Yeah, he played well. Played well. Played really well.
And for me, that was a crucial part because it was like a Sané versus Ederson show at sometimes. But
it was, yeah, you're right.
He was brilliant. But what we did brilliantly, and I thought Grealish was superb, the way he just kept retaining the ball, bringing people in. Rodri was just like a school playing against schoolboys. You know something, there wasn't one negative tonight, not one. I'm sure people expect us to be playing against Bayern Munich, right, who've got pedigree, and going, we should be getting 90% of the possession here. The pundits were doing it tonight, Martin. Like,
Yeah.
oh, it's not like City this, not to have all the possession. Whoopie woo. Last time I knew, goals win games, not possession. Over to you guys.
By the way, we had 37% possession at the Emirates and absolutely spanked them.
Exactly, mate.
Yeah.
Goals win games.
Yes, I did see the banner.
We were hovering just about 45% possession and we spanked them.
As I said to everyone tonight, I was literally next door to the away fans tonight.
Yeah,
I wasn't part of the reason they all kicked off. And they did bring out the Sheikh Mansour out and Glazers out and aristocrats out of football, which tells you what Bayern Munich are, just their lovely little cartel of European football. And it gave me so much pleasure to see them kicking off so much at 3-0. You thought something had majorly gone off when we put that third goal in. Oh,
Really?
it hurt them. It hurt them so much. And when we started singing, "Can we play you every week?" and you're effing you know what to them, oh, they got even worse. They were
really?
not.
Tell me more, Matt, because he wouldn't show that on TV. Tell me more.
Oh, we gave it to them. We were singing, "Can we play you every week?" City tearing Germans apart again. Yeah, Sheikh Mansour, my lord. We gave Cancelo a little bit of jape. You're not fit to wear the shirt.
But
Really?
what happened
Did
then?
you? Oh, that's brilliant.
Hey, but what happened at the end though? He's not fit to wear the shirt. Bernardo gave him a City shirt. They swapped shirts at the end.
They are, mate. They are,
Last time
mate.
you get your hands on one of these.
As you all know, Ozzy knows this. We always start with the starting 11. I don't even have to even put it up on screen anymore because we kind of know the starting 11 week in, week out now. Ederson in goal, Akanji, Johnny Stones, Ruben Diaz, Ake, Rodri, Kevin De Bruyne, Gundogan, Bernardo Silva, Erling Braut, Haaland, and Jack. I am a god. Grealish. Everyone happy with that 11? I know Alan wasn't very happy with it, but everyone else seemed to be.
Ruben Diaz, back in Ederson were fantastic. I will pay my £20, which I owe to Martin's charity fund, which I will do. Bernardo was excellent. Grealish was excellent. But I thought if you had to pick one person out, I would say Diaz was immense. And Bernardo, that was toss up between the pair of them. Very, very good display.
There was no light show tonight. And could you hear us all singing as the players came out? That's what it should be. If it's satellite show, let us do the job. Let us do the singing and everything else and gene them up.
Why don't you do it in the family stand then every week, mate?
I do. I'm in level 1, unlike you.
That 7-year-old keeps stealing his LED lights.
Level 2, like
Andy, you notice when it started raining, the family stand emptied and they all went watching him on the TV screens underneath because they can't do with the rain, can they? And they did again tonight. They did again.
Oh,
anyway, Ozzy, that 11, was you happy with that?
Yeah, so you kind of mentioned it in the last stream, saying that you felt that Bernardo Silva was probably going to come in for Mahrez, and that's what I would have gone with tonight as well.
Yeah.
I didn't think Mahrez was particularly great in his last game. Yeah, he does turn up for the Champions League, so it wouldn't have been a massive surprise if he had been in that starting lineup. But I felt Bernardo Silva was the right person to come in. He controlled the game absolutely brilliantly. But for me, it wasn't just a one-man performance tonight. Like we all expected, from Haaland or from Silva. It was actually a team performance. Every player on that pitch tonight performed absolutely amazing. And to, as you were saying, Alan, about Diaz, was colossal. Absolutely a colossal performance.
He was.
He absolutely commanded that back line.
Yep. We had to.
Yeah, he had to. But I also thought, you looked at the likes of John Stones, who kept coming in and out of that midfield position. You looked at Akanji, and I thought Akanji had his best performance in the City shirt tonight, because I just thought he was excellent. And Ake, absolutely bossed. That left back position was just let nothing past him. And he was going up against
Koeman.
he was going with Koeman, and I thought Koeman, was doing well.
Koeman had a good game.
Yeah, he did, and so did Sane. Both wingers, to be fair, were their main threats. Going down those wings, those were the threats coming in, because Gabri had nothing.
Sane played well.
Sane was their best player.
He must have looked better on the TV than what he did in the stadium, because us in the stadium did not think he was playing well at all.
Well, no, I think Martin. I think what it is that he was the only one that actually had shots on targets properly. He was a threat. On another night, those could have gone in quite easily, because we know.
I just think Sane was typical Sane. Didn't track back. Didn't want to do the work right. Didn't follow his runner. And the simple fact is, we were joking in the car. We all went, "What Sane's good?" Because you always, when he was at City, I don't know if anyone noticed this, you could always tell with Sane's first touch what type of game he was going to have. If he brought it down really well and turned his man, you're like, right, he's on it. If he let the ball sort of go, or his first touch was Bobbins, he's not in it.
How often is it during the season?
He tracked back more than any of the other four Bayern.
Well, he didn't do a very good job at it then, Rich.
Sané did stop a couple of attacks, and he did back up with the fullback a bit. I mean, I actually thought he tracked back more today than I ever saw him track back for City in his time.
I wasn't impressed with any proper Bayern. I thought Coleman was throwing himself to the ground, left, right, and centre. I thought he was just made of jelly the way he was going all over the place tonight.
No, I'd say that he seemed to be the only player that actually made some sort of effort. Like
and again, I have to watch it back on the TV because you see things you miss. But I honestly think the referee played into Bayern's hands tonight. I thought Bayern were chucking themselves to the ground quite easily, and the ref was falling for it every 30 seconds because we were getting really annoyed about it. Like, because the amount of times, Kevin De Bruyne tonight got no protection whatsoever. No. He was getting clattered left, right, and centre. Grealish. Pavard kept going through the back of Grealish, and the ref was going, play on. And they were just going, touch, down, free kick. And we were like, what is going on?
I tell you what was impressive, though. I tell you what was impressive. Bernardo Silva got a booking early doors, and for him to keep his discipline as well. I thought, fair play to him, and rounded it off with a great goal. Charlie's put something in the comments there, and I think he's bang on. Some appreciation on Manuel Akanji, please. What a player. A lot of people doubted him tonight. Absolutely. I honestly, Martin, he came across brilliantly on TV. I know you see a different game from TV to live.
Yeah, of course.
He was very good tonight, mate.
And you know what was interesting about Akanji was he was in the first half he was impressive defensively. In the second half he was impressive in attack.
Yeah, it was. That's why I said performance in City shirt. It really was.
In the first half, towards the end, Sané had to change flanks because he was getting no joy out of Akanji.
Yeah.
Everything what come from Sané pretty much was when he swapped over on the other flank.
Well, we just felt Akanji, we thought he had a bit of a dodgy feel. I said to you coming home, I thought he had a dodgy 15 minutes early on.
Yeah, he did.
The only thing I thought he was doing was he wasn't judging the bounce of the ball very well, very early on. There was a couple of long balls, if you remember, where he was letting the ball bounce. And we were like, could he have edited that? And again, you can't. This is the trouble. When you're at one end of the pitch to the other end of the pitch, you can't tell whether the closeness of the play, which is why I always watch the game back, because you can see how close it is then.
I also think, Martin, it was a very wet night, as you'll attest to.
And windy.
And I think it's exactly windy.
Oh,
and I think and you've got to allow players to settle into the game. So I think he had an excellent performance. I don't think you can actually say anything he did wrong tonight at all. I think he was absolutely brilliant.
I'm saying nothing about wet and windy.
Why? What are the mainstream? Yeah, I did try and do. I was trying something at the start. I've deleted it off now because it just didn't work. I tried doing a live stream from the ETIHAD. It didn't work. It looked like I was in a grade 4 hurricane. I don't know what was going on in that place tonight. It was not good. I went live. I couldn't get on. The Wi-Fi died. Because if you remember, City were going to do the 1894. We're going to do the "We'll Follow You Anywhere" banner across the East, and that got cancelled. It was just not the weather to do anything like that. I think that's probably part of the reason the light show didn't go ahead, because they wanted to do fire and fireworks and all sorts going off, and they
just give you the light show.
Yeah, I don't think it's. We did do the Poznan, mate. We did the Poznan.
Yeah, I saw South Stand doing the Poznan at the end.
It was so about the 87th minute we kicked that off, because we were trying to nibble at the Munich fans, because they were very, very unhappy with us at the end. Very unhappy with us. But anyway, did anyone else think the 11 was wrong, or did it go a little bit different? Surprise, no Walker or anything? Because there was a lot of people with Walker tonight.
Well, no one can complain about the side when they've watched the game.
I'm sorry about but beforehand there was a lot of people who had Walker in, and I don't think they wanted Akanji in. That was the impression going into the game and pre-match and everything else.
Yeah, Akanji's interesting. He even during the game. I mean, I know you're saying I looked at Twitter and there's people just Akanji shit during the game. And it's, to be fair, I thought he had a very solid game. I mean, he had a couple of passes where he passed it straight off the pitch, which could have been dangerous with their pace. And, so he had a couple of moments where he probably wasn't quite at the level of the impeccable performances of the other three at the back, but he had a very good game. And it's hard when you see a game like that. Why would you change anything? I mean, for me though, Bernardo being back to his absolute best was just sublime to see. Best we've seen Bernardo all season by a mile.
Can I ask you something? Because I feel a little bit of from Martin about Akanji. How come nobody then? I'm not saying they should. It's just, again, devil's advocate. How come nobody's criticising a howler of a miss from the big Norwegian meat shield in the first half when he should have absolutely buried it?
It was on his left foot. Oh, that's the only excuse he had for that. It was banging.
Didn't stop Rodri on his weak foot, did it?
But if God forbid we would have lost tonight, people would have, and it was that from Akanji, people would have slaughtered Akanji.
Yeah. No, I said the Norwegian donkey at the time.
The one thing about City fans is the majority of City fans have to have a player they want to pick on during the games. I mean, you go back, I remember when I'm going in the real start of the 80s, people just having to go at Paul Power. I'm one of the greatest servants for City there's ever been. But there'd be fans sat around you having a go at him, because then we had Ed Chill. We've just always had a player who people have to have a go at. And the trouble is nowadays, Rodri was a bit like that a few years ago, but he's become like the best defensive midfielder in the world. So most people have given up on that. Then it was Grealish, and Grealish has come. So Akanji's, I think, just suffering a bit from the fact that people have got to have something to moan about and a player to moan about on the pitch. And when we're playing like we are and we have the team we do, you've got to pick Akanji, one of the best signings in the Premier League this year, 15 million. He's been superb. But people have got to have someone to complain about. And it's either, at the moment, it seems to be Ederson or Akanji that are getting 99% of it.
I don't know. Has anyone heard about KDB?
Right ankle, because after he was off, he went over onto the touchline when he got a bit of a clatter. When he came back on, he went to do a pass over there near their 18-yard box, and he went on his ankle again a little bit then.
Yeah, but he wasn't happy being taken off, so he was angry being taken off. So he obviously didn't think he was.
I was going to ask that because we saw it and we were like, "Is he angry at the ref? Is it?" We didn't know because we saw him throw his hand up again because we were at a distance.
I think he wanted.
He was angry that he was coming off. That's what it was. He was angry to come off.
Pep did right because we've got just as big a fish to fry starting on Saturday. We really are.
And De Bruyne will admit that, later on once his head's cooled down. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So he just wants.
De Bruyne will be fine. He's just so passionate.
It's interesting because there's a lot of mixed things on Sane at the minute. Some are saying great, some are saying not so great. So I suppose it's what you see on it. But I am going to mention something tonight. I genuinely, I've got to mention this guy, and you've mentioned it already, but Bernardo Silva.
Awesome.
I thought the guy carried on from Bournemouth, from Southampton, when he came on that pitch when Mahrez went off. Mm-hmm. And I thought he dealt with Coleman. Is it Koeman or Coleman? Is it Coleman? I don't know.
Davies.
Davies.
Yeah, handling that Coleman and Davies overlap was going to be huge.
But everyone was the side everyone was really nervous about when he going in. And I thought Bernardo just absolutely. I mean, Davies was no threat at all. You didn't see the guy.
Well, I thought the most impressive thing that he did in the entire game was that lone run, where he was running into the box and he just dispossessed. Just danced past everybody. Yeah, it was beautiful. Like, I mean, one of his best performances in the City shirt I think we've ever seen.
I think it was. I think that was his best game I've seen since the Liverpool game a few years ago, where he ran about 55 miles in a game and was everywhere. That was up there with that game that he played.
Yeah, that's why I gave him special mention about him getting a booking early doors for his discipline and to carry on playing like that. Because I think there was one point midway through the second. No, it must have been more than midway through the second half. He went to do something to Cancelo and he pulled out, thinking, I'm going to end up bloody going off here. But great disciplined performance from Bernardo.
I'm trying to keep up with your comments. There's so many, and I appreciate it. I do apologise. There was so many comments in. I know it's a fabulous night. Grealish, Grealish as well tonight. Jesus, his work rate. This is what I've always said. Sane is a fantastic player, but I wouldn't swap him for Grealish at all. Grealish is 10 times.
Different players though, Martin. I mean, it has to be said.
Yeah, but it's a different everything now. Grealish just fits everything. Grealish is just on fire right now. And
Grealish's fitness level is a mile away from where he was a year ago. His running towards his confidence. And his fitness. I think he's massively fitter. I didn't really think of him as not being fit enough last year, but just looking at the way he keeps running towards the end of the game and the distance he covers now, it's a world apart from the Villa or the early City Grealish.
I also think it's a self-belief as well that he's now got, because I think when he first came to City, I think he was a little starstruck, being in the Champions League and playing with the players like Kevin De Bruyne and others. And I just think now he feels that he's one of those players now. He is a star. He's finally able to kind of flourish under Pep and in this system so well. And I just think he's shown everyone now that he's more than reached that price tag for what he's done ever since he's come back from the World Cup. So that whole albatross around his neck with the price tag has disappeared. You're not hearing it now.
I've got a different spin on it. I've got a different spin on it. I think Pep's been building him up to how he is now, because I'm still certain that he was playing to Pep's instructions with his little side balls, back balls, retaining the ball. Otherwise, Pep wouldn't have picked him in the first place. I think Jack's just been playing to Pep's instructions, regardless whether Jack wanted to or not. Otherwise, why has he made so many appearances? I just think he's bolted this on, now Pep's developed him a little bit more. There's more to come from him as well. I think he's been phenomenal. I really do.
I've just got to read this out, Leon. Thank you so much for Super Chat. City 3, Cartel Snitches 0, Sheikh Mansour in. Yeah, that banner. They dropped 1 point. Bringing that banner out was like the worst thing they could ever done. But thank you for the Super Chats. They are available for everyone. If you are desperate to get a comment read out, I'm trying to go to so many of you, and we thank you so much. Cancelo did get a rough ride, a major rough ride when he got on that pitch.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to get well. I keep telling you, FIFA thinks he's coming back. The fans ain't going to let him come back, mate. There ain't no warm reception waiting for him to come back in the Etihad at any point.
That was solidarity from the fans to Pep that tonight.
Yeah. You can't attack our manager and then think you're walking back into that city shirt. Someone else I want to talk about tonight, Pat, Alan, we'll start with you two. Someone who I think has had unfair criticism all the way through the season, Ederson.
Well, hands down, his best performance of the season, bar none. You know, it was tricky conditions out there for a goalkeeper. It was wet, it was windy, it was slippery. Made some great saves, kept the ball in front of him at all times. He read Bayern's plays well. He came off his line at the right time. He was just switched on. You know, this is such a step up from some of the performances that he's had, albeit he has been given some unfair criticism and that, but he silenced some haters today, that's for sure.
He needs the adrenaline, doesn't he? He needs the adrenaline. Only a game that important has got him fired up. We've got to have him concentrating like that all games.
Yeah. I want to ask FIFA in the chat if Scott Carson started, he probably would have got an assist, wouldn't he, mate?
Alan, Ederson, you've given him some grief this year.
Yeah. He was. He made some. At the start of the game of both halves, we were under pressure from Bayern Munich. I think everyone would agree on that. First half, first 20 minutes, we were under pressure. First 15 minutes of the second half, we were under pressure, and he made some very, very crucial saves in that period. And you know, that's where people have been criticising him is his shot stopping, and he was good today. He was good. He made right decisions. He was switched on, you know. So I can't complain if he plays like that up till now to the end of the season. Then we won't have a problem. But when we were put under pressure by them, they're a decent side, they're a good side. Yeah, he came up and saved us a few times today.
Can I ask a question? I've got to ask this, Alan. Because I honestly thought the first half was a game of chess. I thought it was two top teams going at it. And do this for it, I don't think Bayern were on top for the first 20 minutes. I don't.
No.
Because I honestly thought for the first 2 or 3 minutes, we were at them right from the off. We were actually at them and at their goal and going for it.
I felt like they were trying to take the initiative from about the 25-minute mark, but we just kept absorbing the pressure. We absorbed
I would genuinely say, Alan, it was more of an even thing. I don't think Bayern had 5, 8, maybe 10 minutes at the start of the second half. That was it.
It was until the 68th minute when we scored. When Upamecano, whatever his name is.
You thought Bayern were the better team up to the 68th minute?
No. I said from the start of second half till the 68th minute, when we scored in the 69th, I thought they had us under pressure all the way through that period, which they did. Okay, and City were playing on the counter attack.
I think it was a game. Even in that first 25 minutes, using a cliche, it was a game of two halves. City would dominate for 5, Bayern would dominate for 5.
Yeah,
City
that's how it was.
Bayern. Yeah. We had periods before that 69th where I thought we're going to get 2 goals now because Bayern barely had a touch for 5 minutes around. I think between 50 and 55, but it was a real seesaw because we get control and then they get it back and then we get it back, and then the second goal we just.
But they look threatening when they were having a go at us. They look threatening, especially Sane.
Because it's a quarter final of a Champions League, Alan.
Yeah, I know that. I'm trying to speak. You're asking. Hang on. You're asking me what I thought of the game, right? This is my opinion. We got when we scored the second goal. When we scored the second goal, it changed our confidence levels, and we took the game away from them, right? But until then, it was they were hitting us and putting us under pressure, and we, thanks to Diaz and Stones and Ederson, it kept the score.
That's where I disagree, Alan. I know it's your opinion, but I disagree with it. I don't think it was all them 20 minutes solid. It wasn't.
There were periods of the game where it did. You got a sense of when we played Arsenal away at the Emirates, where obviously they had more possession than us. It was something like we only had about 45% possession in the game, and I feel like we allowed those periods of them to keep the ball, and we just kept it tight. We kept it strict. We kept it, no gaps, no cutting between the lines or anything like that. And I think we almost lulled them into a false sense of security. Because when we were on the ball, we were probably creating better opportunities, just not as frequently as what Bayern were. And then we put them to the sword with that, because that defensive pairing with Upamecano and De Ligt, they're great for holding a lead, but they're not great for playing from out the back. And we proved that. Jack Grealish made Upamecano's life absolute hell.
Right? Can we just play nice in the chat? Stop now. Anyone threatening us to stop now, or you all go? Not having it. Stops now.
What's happening?
Alan, let me deal with it.
I didn't see it, mate, so I'm not problem.
No, I know. Listen, Alan, I get that's your opinion. I totally do.
Yep.
I understand you're a negative Nelly, and you see everything as someone has one attack and they've battered us for 45 minutes. I understand that's the way you see it. But Rich and Ozzy and they're always. It was 5 minutes or 5 minutes. It was just two top teams going at it in the first half. It was just two top teams going hell for leather on each other, and something was going to give. You are in the quarterfinals of the Champions League. You ain't going to get an easy ride. If you're nervous now, when we get to Real Madrid in the semi-final, God forbid, you might as well put your eyes over and go to sleep for 2 hours. Because you've no chance, mate. You've no chance.
Mate,
because you're trying to give chances up.
I know you are. I know you have. What I'm saying to you is, for the first bit, from the half time till the 68th minute, I thought they were the better side. And then we scored the second. And it changed the game completely.
Ozzy and Rich, we're going order if you want.
Well, let's go back to your point regarding Ederson. I'm not going to elaborate on that anymore because I thought Pat summed it up perfectly about Ederson.
Yeah.
We can't dominate everything all the time. In fact, like I said before, it's not possession what wins games; it's goals. After we scored our third, we could have scored 4 or 5. It was a great one by Alvarez.
Exactly.
And I've never seen Bayern Munich defensively fold like they did when we put them under high tempo pressure.
But see, this
is
the thing with
the back. They had Umpa at the back, who may I add, I'm not. Umpa was City's man of the match tonight.
Oh yeah, he was.
I rated him at Leipzig. I thought he was the top defender at Leipzig. Tonight, I thought he'd come out of the Vauxhall Conference. I don't know what he was doing. I thought he'd won a free raffle to play in the Bayern shirt.
Martin, after the game, at our pub, after the game, there was actually a couple of Bayern Munich supporters there and full-blown Bavarians as well, too. And I said to him, if Lucas Hernandez was fit for this game, would he have started? He said, absolutely. He said, and he said to me, he's a good defender for holding a lead in that, but when you're playing from out the back, he's not. Did
anyone notice he couldn't stand on his feet for the first 5 minutes?
But hang on, we made the other week we made Gavidol look ordinary, didn't we?
Yeah, true.
It's not necessarily it's not necessarily they had a bad game. We actually put pressure on them. We pressurized the backsides off them. So the praise has got to go for City for that performance.
Yeah,
I think because Martin said it on a previous stream, saying that. I don't think we're giving City enough credit. Bayern are one of the most.
Said it. Thank you.
Yeah, Ozzy. Do you know what's a good comparison? Where again it comes back to we didn't give the press enough credit, and it was all about dumping on the defender. You remember when we played Real Madrid in the lockdown season, where it was like 6 months apart between both legs of the Champions League, and when we played that return leg at home. Jesus and Sterling made Rafael Varane's life an absolute hell because both goals were scored from mistakes caused from pressing. And that's exactly what we did to Upamecano.
Yeah. He just couldn't handle the press tonight. And, he's not a bad defender. He's done well for them, in their own league. But tonight he just had a mare, and
I don't wonder. I'm with us there. I keep saying this. I said it all. When did we do the preview Monday night? When do we realise what we've got in front of us? When do we look at this and go, hang on a minute?
We're the team to fear.
We might be better than Bayern now. We might be better than all these teams right now. And they've got to fear us.
Yeah. We have, to be fair, I think we were the best team in the Champions League last year and the year before. So I think we have been the best team, and we have been the best team in Europe for 3 years. And now we've actually got to demonstrate that by putting the trophy on our shelf. Because in the last 2 years, we were a vastly better side than Madrid over 2 legs, and we went out. And we were a vastly better side than Chelsea. Not in the game, but all season we were a vastly better side than Chelsea, and we let Chelsea win. So we've got to now show with the results what we've become. And I think the one difference between City this year than those years is that we're playing with 4 out-and-out defenders, whereas we have played in the last 2 years with 3, and we have had a lot of defensive injuries at the end of the season. So, at the moment, we've almost got the problem that we've got, world-class defenders sulking because they can't get a game. Last season, we were having to play injured Laporte out to the end of the season with painkilling injections just to be able to field a defence.
And now we've got a bottom lip out Laporte. We can't get in the team.
I'm going to say something. Before you just go on that one, I will say, if it weren't for Laporte at the end of last season, we wouldn't have won the league. Well, let's be honest.
We're indebted to him for that.
Yeah, we're indebted to him.
Absolutely.
For 10 years,
Absolutely.
mate.
So I'm not going to slag him off. No one's slagging
him off. I think probably one of the reasons he's sulking is, that he realised what he did last year and probably feels he's owed. But Pep will pick the 11 players.
I don't think anyone's slagged him off.
No one slagged off Laporte.
We can't keep looking back on sentiment either. We've got to look at his attitude now.
Yes.
Andy, you have to leave. Do you want to post anything you're doing tomorrow night?
No. Well, we're going to be chatting with some gooners regarding the title running and stuff like that. On Thursday, we'll be catching up with ex-City defender Terry Phelan, and at night time, we'll be chatting to Mike McLean. Anybody who knows Mike used to do the halftime fun and games at the Etihad. Yeah. And next week, I think Tuesday, we've got Big Joe Royal,
Joe Corrigan,
him as well.
It's good to buy know the schedule, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I was hoping to get him for the last game of the season for you, Martin, but
you had the jet too, didn't you?
No, but sod off with that. Don't even go down that road. That's your fault.
It's not a road; it's an airport.
It's a runway.
Terminal, actually.
Anyway, yes, I will be on there tomorrow, and anyone else, and I'll be on there Thursday. And then after Andy's show on Thursday, we'll roll straight into our Thursday night show.
Yeah, by the way, if any of you guys are available tomorrow about 8 o'clock, by all means, let Martin know, and we'll get you on as well.
Cool, thanks, Andy.
Yeah, cheers. Thanks, all the links for all channels are underneath in the description. All City channels now.
Great show, guys.
Thanks, Andy.
Bye now.
Right, Rodri's goal.
Class.
Is it me, or did anyone feel like something like that had to happen for something to change in that first half?
Yeah.
It was like
a little bit, yeah. But one thing they did in the halftime analysis, and I think Rich will agree with me what you say, as much as Craig Foster is annoying and a bit of a nuisance with his analysis, he was absolutely right. He was absolutely right in the way that the build-up for that goal started, because Bernardo Silva had effectively tracked. It was obviously being marked by Alphonso Davies whenever we were on the attack. And Leon Goretzka always came in from the number 6 role in to offer.
Goretz left it. Yep.
Yeah, no, but he would always come in for additional support. And then when Bernardo would track back and try and link up with John Stones, on this particular occasion, you see Serge Gnabry come back to offer like additional support. But then as soon as John Stones has passed that ball back to Bernardo, Gnabry just trots off back into midfield because I'm not needed anymore. And that's when Bernardo's able to strike and send the ball into Rodri. We only had one man marking, got around him, and then and slammed it into the net.
Yeah, it did.
I've got to read this out.
You watch the replay.
Jay, I'm going to come to your super chat. That again is very generous in the moment. This is sad. This is really sad. What a performance, lads. The only thing that effed me off tonight was Haaland's goal. About 20 people around us got up, started to leave after he scored. And he had mates who couldn't get tickets. Yeah. Bit sad. It is going to happen, sadly. Fans are in there for Haaland, are they? And hopefully you turn them into Manchester City fans. It's just something, Benno, that will have to come with time. And sadly as well, there are fans in the world that follow players, not teams at the moment. They're more of a player fan than they are a team fan.
Oh, to be fair, my brother sat next to someone with his season ticket, next to someone who, for 5 seasons, left after 80 minutes every single game. Old man couple, never ever watched beyond the 80th minute of any game. Just
it used to be on the main road as well, mate.
No. I don't think Benno's point was they're only there for Haaland. They're not even there for Manchester City. It's Haaland scored, right? We're off now. We've seen the.
So there's every chance if Haaland had scored that goal in the first half, they could have left it.
Yeah, they'd have probably pissed off then as well. I haven't seen him now.
Good thing he scored when he did that.
That's really kind. Thank you for the 550. Maverick performance. Eddie was immense. What a defence we have. The defence were just impeccable tonight. There's not enough being given to this defence lately.
They had to be tonight. They had to be, and they were brilliant.
But the point is, Alan, they've been like that for about 2 months now.
Yeah.
They've been unbreakable for 2 months.
Well, you know what I'm saying? They had to be tonight, and they were, all of them, including the keeper. They were.
Yeah, I know. I get that, Alan. I get that. Listen, people. I'm not trying to pop at you. I'm just trying to say it is a positive tonight, Alan.
Yeah, it is massive positive. I am being positive here, mate, but I'm giving credit where it's due. Our defence had to defend well tonight, and they did. They did because we were put under pressure at times. We were put under pressure.
Just going back to the Rodri goal. I mean, we've known like Rodri do a Rodri rocket, from the outside the box and just absolutely slam it in. But that was just a quality shot. It was Kevin De Bruyne-esque. Yeah, it really was. Yeah. I just feel like that's something that I feel like he's been practicing for quite a while on the training pitch, and he finally pulled it off tonight.
What is it with Rodri? It's just he can only score with his foot if it's outside 18 yards, and he can only score with his head if it's inside 6.
Yeah, that's another thing. Rich, where was Kimmich tonight? I raved about this guy, saying he's the only guy I'd ever bring in to ask KDB and think, hello. He was a ghost tonight, subs, right? He was a ghost.
I think, he was, up against...
Was it the Rodri Stones factor?
I think he was up against Rodri and Stones, and at the moment, they're better than him. I mean, I just think that... I think Rodri had a fantastic game. Stones had a fantastic game. Bernardo had a fantastic game. And the midfield was just better than theirs. But that's what... That's City's... we have the best midfield in the Premier League, and increasingly looks like we've got the best midfield in Europe.
I'd say one person we haven't really mentioned tonight is a certain Mr. Haaland, and again, I mean,
tapping merchant,
total tapping merchant, totally. But I also just thought his gameplay tonight was brilliant. He had an assist, which I thought was really good for him.
Yeah.
And I just thought, he was unselfish in the way he played. Do you know what I mean? He actually kind of, I felt like for the first
he grew
time,
into the game.
really.
I felt like he grew into the game.
Yeah, he did, because I think, you know, he didn't really have much in the first half.
No.
In the second half, he did. He just came into the game. But I just felt his link-up play was brilliant. I hadn't really seen, you know, that properly from him up until tonight, really.
I'm sorry, Anthony. I'm with Thingy earlier. I thought Kimmich was awful. I thought it was a ghost tonight. But because John Stones and Rodri, and I said it the other night, I can see John Stones being turned into the next Philip Lam. This is why I was so confident of Walker never getting back in this
I'll
team.
wrong, Martin. Philip Lam's the previous John Stones.
Yeah, very clever. No, but this is what I mean. Pardo said it earlier, and we learned from Real Madrid. This is what, for me, this whole system has been about. I've been Super City. I've speak to him on the regular, and he knows himself. This is what I've been saying. This whole tactic thing is because that Real Madrid, that crazy 10 minutes in the Bernabeu last year, I think just spooked Pep where he went, I can't have this again. I just can't do it. Something's got to change. And he's gone to this and then we invert one of them. And he's just, I think it's always wanted to be Stones. But I don't think, obviously, Stones he was injured, wasn't he, at the very beginning? And had some, I think if Stones was fit from the off, and had stayed fit, I think Stones would have been in there from the get-go. Because he tried it last season, as I do seem to remember, at some point as well. Because we did, which game was it where Stones went right back and we went, that's a weird one. And we were all like, ooh, he did it last year and threw Stones to right back.
I also think it's a combination of
right back.
But I also think it's a combination of you know, we actually have only got one proper fullback right now, you know, in the respects of Walker. I think, you know, Walker, as brilliant as Walker is and can be on his day, this system currently isn't set up for him. And we'll have to see going forward into next season whether City will continue with it. You know, because
it's not if beyond belief, BB. Sorry, mate. I'm calling it now. We're through. I'm calling it now. City will not concede 3 or 4 goals in that Allianz Arena without scoring back the other end. And that's why it helps.
I'd still be cautious, Martin, because I think, you know, this is still I'm
fully on this team, Ozzy. Team, nobody scares me right now.
I'm not saying you all need to be scared, but I still think you need to have the respect of this is still Bayern Munich. They are an excellent team on their day. They are going to be at home. They're going to have the home fans absolutely behind them. And I would expect them to score.
Although Aussie, for them to score a few, they'll have to concede a few because they're not.
That's what I'm saying. I know. To come out.
No, I know that. But what I'm saying is that I don't want to go into the game kind of so confident thinking we're going to blow them away again, because I just think you've still got to respect that this is Bayern Munich. They are a very good team. And if you're not careful, we could collapse like we kind of did it at Real Madrid. You know, you've just got to be going into that game thinking, yeah, okay, 3-0 is a brilliant, you know, performance and great game to go into the next leg. But respect the opportunity, the opponent, you know, and go in it and just do it again.
You know what's truly nuts now? City, with most of the bookies, are odds on to win the Champions League.
We're odds on for everything.
Odds on.
We're now
odds on to beat, obviously to beat Bayern, then to beat Madrid or Chelsea, and then to win the final. That is just crazy.
Do you know what? This is the thing. I had a look at the bookies. I looked when I came home. The favourites for the league. We went favourites for the league on Sunday with the bookies. The favourites on the FA Cup. The favourites on the Champions League.
Yeah.
And I'm sat there going, all right, calm. And I'm like, I just jolts. And do you know what it is? And I know people say it's how it's not. I've never had more faith in this team than I've ever had before. And that's my point. I'm not saying we won't concede in the Allianz Arena, but for them to score 3, they've got to come at us. And our front line and our midfield will punish them when they do that. And that's where go
And
through.
Upper
I think the
McConnell
other
has to
thing I
play
really
again
like-
because Hernandez is out injured long term. They're going to have to stick
that's
with
where
that
I think,
pairing.
that's why I think we'll go through, because I think they're going to leave too many gaps at the back, and
It's
Haaland will just tear them.
To be honest, this is the year we've got. We've got to do it because I think not only are we coming strong at the right time, but I do think that Bayern aren't quite the side they have been, especially with a new manager coming in, and they're not quite what they were. Real Madrid are very shaky. They were shaky last season, and they, how they got past PSG, then how they got past Chelsea, then how they got past us, I'll never know, because they were outplayed in the last 16, the last 8, the last 4, and it was just like,
and they were outplayed, they were outplayed by Liverpool and won, didn't they? Let's be fair.
Weren't they outplayed by a team from like North Macedonia or something as well in the group?
Yeah.
So
No, I get what Ozzy's saying, though, Rich, because it's like, let's not put. We've still got, if we get through,
we've got to just take it's the old adage. We've got to take one game at a time. The next game is always the most important, because we are going to have to win. 7. We're going to have to beat Arsenal and win another 6 or 7.
The way I put it, for us to not win and keep winning would be our own downfall. We would have to mess somewhere up. Whether it's like, these players have to keep concentrating now,
or get injuries.
Games, whatever's left,
or get injuries. What happened to us at this stage last season was three. Well, all 4 centre backs got injured, and 3 of them couldn't play, and 1 could only play injections. If that happens again, if Stones, Diaz, and Akanji all go down injured, then suddenly everything's changed. So it's it's us staying on our game. It's us making the right decisions with the players. It's keeping the players fit. And there's going to be some luck. If we have the referee, Stuart Atwell refereeing, we could lose to anyone.
Can I just say, Alvarez tonight? What a corner! We found the corner taker. Thanks very much. It's been a while since we had a corner guy beat the first man. He was wonderful.
Rick Holden, last time we had a corner taker.
It was like we all sat there in the stadium. Went, "Oh, beat the first man! It's going to the back post. What's going on here?" We were like dead excited. We hadn't seen it in a while, because normally it's first man or just at the second man, and we're away. But Alvarez was great when he came on. And like I said, people think I like Alvarez. My favourite with Alvarez is how long he's going to be happy, because you can't take Bernardo out of that team at the minute. But we'll see on Saturday, because we'll get into it on Thursday. We may rotate, we may not. It's up to Pep now.
We're going to see a lot of Phil Foden between now and the end of the season.
Phil Foden's got to get
Yeah, I think we've got
they're looking not bringing Phil back till apparently the earliest for Phil's going to be the second leg in the Allianz Arena.
But we can afford some some injury or suspension up front, in that we played tonight and we've got Mahrez, Alvarez, and Foden not in the team.
That's the thing.
I think with injuries more for us is we can maybe afford 1 injury in defence, but if we have 2-3 injuries, then or something happens, God forbid, touch wood, to Rodri, that's when we start to have real problems. So it's all there, but there's a lot of things that have still got to fall into place.
I think the other thing,
I think a good game to bring Phil Foden back would be the match against Sheffield United. It's just getting back in, even off the bench in Munich might be a little bit too in the deep end, but I think starting against Championship opposition it's the right time to getting back.
No, I've been banned, Andrew. They banned me on Juniors.
We said we cover it towards the end, Martin. Anyway.
Oh, sorry. All right.
Yeah.
The other thing I want to say as well.
When we get to the Martin was right section.
Martin,
I have so been waiting for this.
No.
Martin, did you want to put in the chat what I suggested in the private messages about? Because I think it's a good discussion, because both of them are.
Else for that. You do it, and I have to go somewhere else. Do you want to talk about 45 goals? I know we mentioned it earlier, but Haaland has now scored 45 goals, and they did have a graphic ready to go up in the stadium for it. I don't know if they showed it on the TV, but they had a graphic up. They had a massive graphic coming on the big screens already. Congratulations, Erling Haaland, first guy to hit 45 goals in a blah, blah, blah. They had a big graphic ready for him. So,
been all over social media.
Yeah, it was planned and ready to go out. And yeah.
Just before we move on to that, I was going to say the other thing that I think we've also kind of haven't praised is Pep. You know, for not overthinking, for actually playing his team. You know, for actually trusting the players to do their job. You know, he didn't overthink it.
Ozzy, do you think the success of the current lineup that he's played for the last few weeks has allowed him to do that? Where there hasn't been any sort of real weak points or anything, so he hasn't felt like he has to do something radical to change it, and then we start going, "Oh, perhaps overthinking." I think,
but it's also going
it's an unbreakable formula at the moment, and it's working in both Europe and domestic.
Yeah, and it certainly is. But I think the other thing as well that you could have thought is that, you know, he lost against Tuchel in the final with Chelsea, and Tuchel is a very good manager. You know, tactician-wise, he's brilliant at times, and you could see him thinking, new manager. I thought I was going to be playing up against the former Bayern manager. Name's just gone out of my head. Nagelsmann, and now he's going against Tuchel. So, you know, he may have thought, do I need to change this up a bit? Do I need to just...
Because Nagelsmann was still in the job when the draw was made, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I'm sure he was, yeah.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
So, you know, you can only think that Pep would have been preparing for that game. And then suddenly, you know... And to be fair to Nagelsmann, he was doing a good job. You know, especially in the Champions League. So, I'm sure...
They'd won every single game
in
the Champions League. I mean... You know, he lost. I just wonder whether something else went on with that, because it does. He'd only lost.
There's a bit of politics to it, isn't there, Rich? Yeah. You feel like there's a bit of German football politics.
His girlfriend as well. Like, his girlfriend was apparently a photographer, and team news was leaked, and all this.
There's obviously stuff. Yeah, there's obviously stuff going on, because I don't think that was just football. I think it was more than that.
Because there were even talks around German football that Thomas Tuchel was trying to force his way into taking the Germany role after their poor performance in the World Cup.
Just so you know, there is now a poll up. I have put yes or no. Ignore that part. I couldn't get it off. There's now a poll up. What is more impressive, 3 Manchester City goals or the clean sheet? I'd love to know what you think is more impressive. Again,
I think you've got to say the clean sheet, because you know, City are very capable of getting goals. We know this, but I feel that tonight's performance has to go to the defence, because again, you know,
how often have we?
Diaz was a colossus. You know, he very much reminds me, and people may slaughter me for this, but he definitely reminded me of kind of oh jeez, just got out my head then. Chelsea. No, England international.
John Terry,
because I just felt he commanded that back line superbly. He put his body on the line awesomely. I just thought he was immense. It was a captain's performance for me. Do you know what I mean? And that's what I mean when I'm talking about him, comparing him to what's his face? Sorry,
John Terry.
That's what I mean. I just felt like he had such an impressive performance, and that back line was fantastic. You know, it has been brilliant for the last 2 months for me. Sorry, go on, Pat.
Yeah, if you remember in the first half, there was a shot on target. I think it was from Musiala, and Ruben Diaz just stuck the low sort of right leg out and completely blocked it. If you look at all the angles, that was going in because Ederson was wrong-footed with that shot. Yeah, that was going in. And I felt like as soon as I saw that block, I just had this feeling. I was like, I think Ruben's going to have an absolute blinder here, and he did. He had another block a few minutes afterwards as well too, that stopped a certain goal, and then he was just a great wall of Portugal, mate. He was unbelievable.
There was one where it hit Akanji. He didn't know anything about it, which was just funny to look back at, actually. But I think it has to go to the defence, in my opinion.
Alan, Rich, Alan, what's more impressive to you, the goals or the clean sheet?
Clean sheet for me.
Yeah, I'll go clean sheet as well. I think last year we scored 4 goals in the same game against Real Madrid. This time last year we just let 3 in, and I think the difference tonight and interestingly, it's another game where City didn't have 50% possession. Another game where we look really strong, and it's happened a couple of times this season where we don't have all the possession, where we actually therefore, which nearly always means we get more space and we're much more clinical. So it's that's good to see. But I think the clean sheet is what I wanted more than anything.
Absolutely.
I felt actually that I felt we could lose 1-0 tonight and we'd still go through. So keeping a clean sheet and getting a win, fantastic.
That's what we.
Sorry, Al. I'm just going through just the record, and please, if anybody in the comments can correct me, but I think, is this the first time we've had a clean sheet in the knockout stages of the Champions League, beyond quarterfinals or beyond, since Pellegrini's last season, where I think we drew 0-0 in the first leg at Real Madrid, or against Real Madrid at home?
Yeah,
I think that is the first time we have had a clean sheet since early 2016. And it was a goalless draw against Real Madrid in the semi-final.
If we're going to pick,
it just shows how few and far between clean sheets have been at this stage of competition. So that, for me, is enough to say that the clean sheets is way more impressive than the goals.
For us to win this tournament, we have to keep clean sheets. For me,
yeah,
simple.
Yeah,
actually,
that's what we're falling down.
Come to think of it, the second leg against PSG in the semi-final, we won 2-0. So we haven't had one since then. Well, it's only been one since that Real Madrid game.
I get what you're saying, but I also think I know what you're saying about the clean sheets.
It's not. It hasn't been in our nature.
It's two-legged, Martin.
That's why.
Yeah, but away goals don't count, Alan.
So I'm saying that you are right, but if
I
we
honestly
keep clean
think we can't
sheets,
score most teams.
well, yeah. But we're not always going to do that against really good teams away from home. That's the key.
Alan, too, I think the clean sheet also says the Bayern is like, we're missing Lewandowski this season.
Right. The point is, I'm looking at Manchester City right now.
Yep.
And if you look at what we're doing right now, we're not winning. This is the thing. We're not beating teams 1-0. Every game we're going in.
I know.
Alan, let me finish.
Previous seasons, it was always 1-0, 2-1. It was always grinding them out.
Right now. We're sticking 3, 4s, and 5s and 6s on the regular past everybody. I know, Alan, you cannot. I don't care about last season. I'm talking right now.
Martin, we're hitting that November form that we usually do every season. We're doing it now. That October, November, where we get really, really streaky, get a massive run of games going leading up to Christmas. We're doing it now, and we've never done that before. We've never been in this sort of form.
Obviously, the secret, because we were pretty dreadful from November to February. I know there was a World Cup there, so obviously that's the secret. Pep was doing all his overthinking.
It was like a second restart,
and
because I will say this: with Bayern Munich and possibly Real Madrid in the semi-finals, we're coming against teams when we go away from home, where if we can get a 0-0, and keep a clean sheet away from home against these really top sides, we stand a chance of winning this tournament. It's when we go away from home.
But Pepper's always had the attitude that we will outscore any other team.
Thank you. Pep doesn't go for a 0-0.
No, but I think
they can still win 1-0.
But what Pepper's had to do, I think, is accept that he has to have a strong back line, and you need to try and keep as many clean sheets, especially when it comes to the Champions League.
Yep.
I think because you saw what happened against Real Madrid. You saw when those goals went in, you saw how it completely demoralised the team.
Yep.
And I think as soon as those goals start leaking in, that is when the heads dropped. It was kind of over. I think this season has been unique as in we've kept a very strong back line. We're not conceding as well. We're barely conceding in the Champions League now, which I think is excellent. So going forward, it's yes, you need to be scoring those goals. But I think for the team mentality going forward, you need to be able to kind of keep them out.
Yep, correct.
Got to remember, we have a striker who's bagged 45 goals. That ain't on purpose.
Well, it is on purpose.
If he scores 6 more, he's made $1 million. If he scores 6 more, he's made $1 million for every goal he scored.
Oh, yeah. I reckon that's going to be the gif of the century. That
it's not on purpose.
45 goals.
Right, okay.
It's not Sean Goaty, they're all deliberate.
I can't believe I've just said that. 45 goals. It's not on purpose.
He's such a tapping merchant.
Accidental. Oops.
Acrobatic tapping merchant.
Yeah. Whoops, that shinned off me and went in the corner. What happened there? That came off me right arse cheek and flew in. Right, no, scratch.
Angie, the best thing from Haaland tonight was that assist.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
but what I mean was 45 goals. That's not my fluke. That's not done. That's done because we are set up to bag and bag. I've just been looking since we walked back. You look from January. I know we kicked off in the Premier League 3-0 Wolves, 4 against Tottenham. So we got beat at United. We got beat. We smacked 4 past Chelsea. We then got the 1-0 win. We stuck 3 past Bristol City, 4 past Bournemouth, the 1-1 in Leipzig, the 1-1 in Forest, which was the little tiny last time we blipped, 3 against Arsenal away, 3 against Villa. Then we roll into March, 6 against Burnley, 7 against Leipzig. We beat Palace 1-0, could have been more. 2 against Forest, 3 against Bayern Munich, 4 against Southampton, 4 against Liverpool. Simple fact is, yes, the clean sheets are there and they're good. But the simple fact is, if we keep putting the 3 and the 4 away, they've got to score 4 and 5s to get anywhere near us then. Just at the minute, it's like the Real Madrid. You go back to Real Madrid and the PSG, they weren't close games. If Mahrez could finish last season, we'd have been 5-0 up at the ETIHAD against Real Madrid at home and dry and weren't even worried about the Bernabeu. The reason we got knocked out was not because of the 10 minutes in the Bernabeu. It's because we couldn't finish our dinner in the first leg.
Or the second leg, because we should have had another 2 goals in that.
Yeah.
And don't forget those 2 ridiculous Courtois saves as well. Any other keeper probably wouldn't get them.
Anyway, so yes, I'm with you, Alan. The clean sheets are massively important, but just at the minute, everything we hit is going in the onion bag, and we're top goal scorers in Europe for a reason, and we were top goal scorers in Europe last year, top goal scorers the year before. It's not by accident. We're primed to score goals. That's us. Yeah. Anyone who thinks Pep's going over to the Allianz Arena to do a 0-0, get that out your head right now because it ain't happening. Pep's going to the Allianz to win. That's what we do.
But then, Martin, wouldn't you appreciate the clean sheet even more just in case the goals do dry up a little bit? It's that reassurance, just knowing that, okay, maybe we missed the target or we're not exactly breaking down defenses a bit more, but at least you know at the back you've got an absolute wall there. Sorry?
Yeah, but you've also got to keep
goals, you don't win games. Clean sheets.
No, I understood, but if you're not conceding, you're not going to lose either.
Yeah,
I'm sounding like Michael Owen there for a second.
It is so important to keep that clean sheet because a 1-0 it could be. I mean, we saw it last time.
What happens if you go 0-0 in 2 Premier League games? You lose the title. We can't then look back and go, we can't clue 2 clean sheets though.
Yeah, but Martin, if we lose,
my
three twice, we lose the title.
No, but goals. No, I know.
Martin,
not getting the point. Goals win prizes.
I know they do, but when you play against good sides,
more goals tonight,
we've got to get clean sheets.
Oh, you're sarcastic, sod.
I just think the clean sheet can be just as much a statement to Bayern Munich as much as scoring the 3 goals is.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, and it's not in our nature. It's not in our nature to have clean sheets at this stage of the competition, and that's why I just think it's a bit more significant. I totally get what you're saying, Martin. Goals win your games. I get that too. But when you're doing things that you're not necessarily known for doing at this stage of competition, I just think it's as much of a statement as it is having a 3-goal lead.
Yeah, I don't think.
I'll give you an example. When we played Monaco, we thrashed them at our place 5-2 or 5-3. 5-3, right? Yeah. Great game of football, played really, really well. We get knocked out in the second leg because we conceded goals. You cannot do it. Not in the Champions League. If you're going to win it, you've got to keep clean sheets.
And again, that has been proven, so much in the Champions League because it is that kind of competition.
Right. We'll go around man of the match for you all, and then we'll move on to the final piece of news that everyone seems wants to jump on. Well, we've got the final 5-10 minutes. Aussie, man of the match for you.
Well, John Stones got the Champions League man of the match, didn't he? I think it was well deserved. I think he put in a fantastic performance. It's so difficult because that back line was just brilliant. I just think I have to give it Diaz. Just for, like I said, it was absolutely a colossal. I just think he was just immense. And for me, like I said, it was a captain's performance. And I kind of hope that, that captain armband goes to him sooner rather than later.
I think it's his next season.
He's so brilliant.
Yeah.
By the way, clean sheet one was 61%. Alan, who was your man of the match?
It was a toss-up between Bernardo and Diaz, and I'm going to go with Diaz because I thought his leadership at the back when we were under pressure was immense. Awesome.
Pat?
As much as I love Ruben Diaz and I want him to be the father of my children, it will be, I'm going to have to go with Bernardo. He put in a shift that was equivalent to that Liverpool performance from 3-4 years ago.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, he was absolutely brilliant. To me, he shut down what I thought was going to be the biggest threat from Bayern Munich, and that was that link up between Koeman and Alphonso Davies. And he did. He had him in his back pocket. He rinsed them, and obviously got the assist for the first goal too, which sent us on our way.
Okay. Rich?
I'm actually going to give it to Rodri. I thought that he was the link between attack and defence, and he dominated the middle of the pitch. And I think everyone played brilliantly around him. But I actually thought that up against Kimmich, he showed that he's now head and shoulders the most dominant central defensive midfielder on the planet. And was, scored a world-class goal, played parts in the build-up for the other goals, but also, helped organise that defence a lot. But Stones, Bernardo and Diaz were all also superb. And, even players like Gundogan was, magnificent too. I mean, it isn't an easy game to call because, it was one of those rare games where it was hard to say anyone in the 11 played less than 7, 8 out of 10.
I'm struggling because I'm with them. If I could, I'd give it to every single one of them.
Well, UEFA or whoever decides man of the match for on the game who got the European trophy for man of the match was Johnston. Well,
For me, it was Bernardo Silva.
He was brilliant, Stones.
Stones was immense. He really was.
I'd give it to...
All right, who's honourable mentions are definitely Jack Grealish, Ake.
No one mentioned Grealish, and I thought he was exceptional.
Yeah, he was good.
It's difficult to pick a player, let's be honest, because they were all exceptional.
So let's say Manchester.
Akanji was his best performance this season.
Let's just say the crowd were. Whoever was sat in block 1-1 said, row AA, seat 246, man of the match, because he sang his heart out for that.
No, we all know who the real man. We all know who the real man of the match was.
Anyway, so let's move on.
Yeah, Upamecano, spot on.
Let's move on to the news of the night. Liverpool fans went from jumpy for an hour.
I'm not want to talk about this.
Well, bye then, Alan.
See ya.
See you later, because I'll see you in
I'll
June.
hit you on the way out.
when we talk about him, we'll sort it out in June. It's all paper talk bullshit again.
Oh, that's a good discussion.
Yeah. See you later.
See ya.
Ta-ra.
I don't know why it's paper talk bullshit. Anyway, Liverpool were putting a bid in for 84 million. Now, I told you 3 months ago, as Ozzy does know, I was told that the fee was already set. And Dortmund already had the fee set. And Liverpool knew the fee that was going to be set. So I don't know why they thought going in at 84 million was going to be even I don't know what they were trying to do with that bid. I don't know what they were doing.
Clutching at straws.
Yeah.
They're doing what we did with Cucurella last year.
Well,
Right,
I know, but when you
30.
already know the bid, you don't go 50 million below the asking price.
We did with Cucurella. We knew.
True. No, we did.
We did with Cucurella. You know.
Plus, I don't think it was all in one as well.
You want to pay. You want to pay £1 a week.
I'm not sure it was that low, mate. But yeah, they definitely wanted to
come
pay
on,
it.
$400 at least, yeah.
I bet he won't far off. I bet it was about 150 a week. No, and he's back. He's back. He's decided to come back now. And then, but as I said 3 months ago, and as he does know, I will not say where from, but we were told that Dortmund had already set the fee at 130 million up top, and Liverpool had to match. They haven't matched. What they decided to do is stick their tail between their little legs and go for a walk. Whoops! Told you that was coming. So now they're all reversing themselves very quickly, doing videos going, FSG's fault. No. And
then the inevitable video will go, why Mason Mount is
it's fun now.
Suited for Liverpool.
Bellingham's going to stay a year just to let them get the money. And they actually now believe that spin of it as well. I don't know why they keep believing these spins. Go on, Alan.
If it is true, great. Where he can't sign till June, we have to wait. And that's fine. Well, listen, if Qatar buy United, correct. If Qatar take over Man United, won't they come to the party?
No, because you've already told them to piss off once.
Yeah,
it changes when Qatar get in. Changes again.
Is that why we didn't
Man United? Which one are you choosing, Alan?
Depends if United get in the top 4 or not.
Okay.
I might go from anywhere near that one.
Anyway, Andy has been on here. Other people have said, we don't know if it's fully done, but do not be surprised he'll be in a blue shirt next season.
I hope you're right. I do hope you. It's not me saying I don't want him. I do want him. But I'm not, until I see him sign that contract and stand there with a shirt in his hand, until then, I'm not saying anything.
The thing is, SFG...
It just makes a good conversation. And particularly it's good conversation because you're looking at a young player who could potentially be at the club for 15 years.
Yeah, I think Liverpool FSG owners have decided that Liverpool need a lot more strengthening in that midfield. If they blow their wad on one player, it ain't going to make a difference.
I'll reword that one. It's a children's show.
Not with Alan on, it's not.
You know what, though? I think it's more than that. I think if Liverpool thought that he would agree to join them this summer, they'd find the money. And I think pulling out is probably far more about where they think
I think they went in and got where they were going.
Not that they haven't got the money. They'd find the money.
And you know what, Rich? They'd have to sell one of their big players. Why would Bellingham sit on a year? Because Liverpool, Alan, stop puffing and puffing.
Because he's 19 and he plays for a huge club. They'd pay him loads more money next year. And being captain of Dortmund, who, were...
So Liverpool don't buy midfielders then this summer? So Liverpool sit and wait another year then for Bellingham to roll in?
No, I think Liverpool know that Bellingham doesn't want to go there.
No, but that's the point. This thing of where Liverpool fans are getting thing on this, Bellingham sits for a year and comes to us next year. No, because that means then you've got to not buy anyone for the summer and wait a year for your money to come in for Bellingham. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah, but they're deluded. They believe
everyone. I know that, mate. That was my point.
How many times have we heard Mbappe wants to go to Liverpool? I'm sure he's absolutely desperate not to go to Real Madrid. How many times, everyone wants to sign for Liverpool in their minds. I mean,
I also think.
Alan, can you not say all media are liars and this, that, and the other, because they're not all liars. So,
all right,
you consider yourself media, man.
they're not liars. They're just full of bullshit. How about that?
Yeah. By the way, big thanks to Simon Mullock, who gave up his time to come on for 2 hours last week. That was very kind of you, Simon.
Yeah.
Just to go back onto Liverpool for a sec, I was going to say, I also think that you've got to look at it from Liverpool's point of view, that where they are currently in the league, what's going on with the club, what's going on with the players on the pitch, and what's going on with Klopp, more importantly. Because I think if Klopp isn't able to pull this team around next season, I don't think he's there season afterwards.
No.
As much as he is the hero, and as much as he's their messiah. In all honesty, I think if Liverpool, if he can't get control of that, because I think that's a big thing for Liverpool right now. I think their players just don't look interested. I don't think they're listening to Klopp. I think they've had it up to here with him in some respects, because you don't see him having the performances of getting these players and getting something on the pitch. So for me, I think
Ozzy, he has the right. He's got to be given the right to rebuild that football team, and he's earned the right to do that. To be fair,
I'm not saying he hasn't, but I think the thing is, if Liverpool if they fall quite dramatically more than they already have, and they don't get in the Champions League this season or next, I think money talks. They need that money.
Alan, he's been there longer than Pep.
I know he has, but he's
not a rodeo for him, mate.
I know, but he's still earned the right to be able to rebuild that team.
Has he?
Well, they won the league and won the European Cup, mate. They won the European Cup, haven't they?
We've won 2 trophies in 8 years. Let's have a dance to the party, shall we? How many have we won in 6?
I know, mate. I know.
They've won 4 trophies in 8 years.
Four trophies.
Oh, no, I'm not including the bloody Super Cup and everything else.
No, the FA Cup and the
FA Cup and League Cup.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. I'm with Liverpool fans. I'm with a lot of Liverpool fans. It's time for the change at Liverpool. It's gone stale.
All right. You say that. Who did they get? Who's better?
It doesn't matter about that right now, because I think to follow Klopp is like following Pep. It's a bit of a poison chalice in some respects, because you're coming in to replace world-class managers. It's going to be difficult. Who could you bring in at the moment right now to replace either one of them?
No.
We would be saying the same thing.
I can say
there's only one manager better than there's only one manager in the world that's better than Klopp, and that's Pep. Where'd you go?
Absolutely. You telling me Klopp's second best manager in the world?
Right, well, you tell me.
You tell me what he's done.
Ancelotti's not going to go there.
Right.
You tell me who did they get?
Tell me what he's done.
You're the owner. No, you're the owner of Liverpool. Who'd you get if Klopp gets sacked? Who'd you get? It's better.
Luis Enrique.
What about Nagelsmann?
I'm sorry, that is where I do disagree. There's not a chance he's the second best manager in the world. No chance. He hasn't done enough or won enough to do that, Alan. He's won 1 league. 1 league.
European Cup.
Right, all right, then Chelsea won 2 in that time. Should we
League Cup, FA Cup.
All right, well, all right. On your basis, then get Roberto Di Matteo. He's won a European Cup.
Yeah, I know what mate, Martin.
No, you're telling me Klopp is the second best manager in the world behind Pep.
Yeah, he is.
Because he won a Champions League.
He is.
No, not close. Klopp has a less than 10% strike rate of winning domestic leagues. Even Antonio Conte has about 35%. Ancelotti has about 40%. Klopp is the biggest myth in football. He's going to go. He's going to go, and he's probably going to have fewer titles than Ranieri or something when he retires. Absolute myth. I
think you buy Bellingham even if you keep Bernardo. You just don't need to buy 2 midfielders then, because Gundo's definitely out the door anyway. And Bellingham for me would be the KDB replacement long term.
Yeah. I agree. I agree with you. If we get him,
Anyway, I have to go.
Right,
So I'm going to say
Take care, Rich. See you. We're going to wrap up in 2 minutes. Take care, Rich. See you
Rich.
Coventry, no
Rich.
chance, mate. To injury, Paul.
Have a good day, mate.
Done for me. I don't see a world where Klopp gets sacked. I think it depends how he finishes the season. Because if Real Madrid come and knock him, I think he might disappear. Nobody from City is saying anything, which is a sign that we have the business done. Exactly, Pardo Oaks. That was another thing I was going to say. When City get linked with a player so heavily, they do. If there was no interest, they come out and go, no interest. Like Messi, like Neymar. Yeah, it was the other guy. There was Messi, they turned around and went, no. Neymar, remember, he got asked in the press and they actually put a press release out and went, no interest. Yeah. City have been zipped on Bellingham. They were zipped on Grealish.
Apart from Pep making comments about
apart from Pep, who keeps waxing lyrical over the two of them. Yeah. Klopp has lost more Champions League finals than he's won. But he's the second best manager in the world. Klopp has never rebuilt a team.
True. That is true. That is true.
Away from a thumbs up. Nagelsmann, says Pardo. Liverpool snub Bellingham. Is that their line? Yeah, because they're not going to come out and say Bellingham snub.
Never wanted him anyway.
Yeah, no. They weren't interested.
And he's right. Martin, he has earned the right. I don't think he has. Because then when we get to 10 years and he starts flopping, has he earned the right? Here's my point. If Klopp was at any other team, if he was at Chelsea, if he was at Real Madrid, he was at Bayern, he'd have been out the door.
Yeah, he would have.
Nagelsmann got sacked out of Bayern for being 1 point off the top. 1 point from the top of the league. Nagelsmann.
I can see Klopp's next job being manager of the national team.
What, Germany?
Yeah.
Fair enough, yeah.
Zidane will never come to...
If Germany have another poor performance under Hansi Flick in the Euro next year, it's a possibility.
Apparently, Zinedine Zidane has said he'll never come to England.
He can't speak English.
He's not keen on it. He just doesn't want to do the weather. He's another Bernardo, don't like the weather. Hansi Flick, Ancelotti is the second best manager. Get him to leave Germany national team would do great, yeah. Football can be played multiple ways. Not every team has to try and play like City, but they're all copying City at the minute. Even Arsenal are trying to copy out City at the minute. And now Liverpool have done it, inverting Trent. I'm like, Pep's just trend setting everywhere at the minute, isn't it? Everyone invert your fullbacks now. Zinchenko's inverted at Arsenal. Trent's inverted at Liverpool. Is anyone else inverting? I am thinking of it. Pardon?
Upamecano.
He just signed.
Turned up upside down. That's as much as I know.
Yeah, he signed for City in the 68th minute. There we go.
Do you know what Liverpool?
He's going to replace Maguire at United.
Liverpool need to stop believing their own hype. They just need to settle down, relax, and get on with the job. Instead of all listening to all this with that. Even City fans, we're not sitting going, we're the best team in the world. We've got the best players in every position. We're just saying we're in a good form. And at the moment, we're brilliant at home. But even though I got told by an Arsenal fan that we're going to come and batter us at the Etihad because it was easier than going to Anfield. Clearly not seeing our form at home lately, then have they? Never mind. Klopp is a passion merchant, and he was on record. I will never... The day I spend over 100 million on a player is the day I walk away from football. Probably why he's not bought Bellingham then. Klopp looks washed out. No, I think he'll go again. I think if they start the season badly, I think he might be out the door then. That's what I think. Liverpool wouldn't have been anywhere near City if it wasn't for Klopp. Fair point, KDB has 2 years in his... Yeah, I just think at 19 he could come in and do a 2-year building up and then get the role. Isco. Are you taking him?
He's second things. We've said every year. We said every year.
He's only 30 years old.
I'm say we need to build Bernardo his own centre backs. That's my issue with Bernardo. We'll talk about We're going to keep the Bernardo stuff till Thursday because I have a different take on it. I would be annoyed if he signed a new contract.
He will sign another contract.
You know that for a fact. He rang you up and told you.
No, but I think he will, mate. He's been engineering for more money, and I've told you this a long time ago, and you know I have.
Can we keep it till Thursday?
So his agent comes out for 2 years saying he wants out
5 seconds
to get more money. Tell you what, Alan, you're on the right one at the minute. Sit your shit.
Martin, I don't have to agree with everything you say. Otherwise, we're going to talk about.
Alan, you don't agree with anyone.
Oh, dear me.
There's a couple of City fans saying that, Martin. What? Saying what? Anyway. Right, Bernardo loves the rain on the quiet. I don't, yeah.
I doubt it. No one loves the rain, but just be honest.
Anyway, we'll get into that Thursday. Manchester City have 1.5 feet into the UEFA Champions League semi-final, and it is 1.5 feet because basically Bayern Munich have to come out and score a minimum of 3 goals without repeat at the other end, which I don't think they'll be able to do, but we'll see. There will be a watch-along next week of that. Jesus, help me now.
Martin, we'll have a great time. Oh, don't roll your eyes at that.
I'm not. Ozzy knows exactly what I'm thinking right now.
Ozzy, don't be like that, mate. Come on, I won't be like that.
As I said, mate, we will try and do. We will try and do a live feed it.
If you could be so kind to smash that thumbs up button. If you are new, please consider giving it a subscribe. We are trying to genuinely reach 2,000 by the end of May, start of June. I know that sounds mad, but it is within reach. We're just over 500, and at the rate we're going at, we'll hit it in 2 months at 2,000. We just got to keep that run rate going because the channel is doing great guns at the minute, and I mean great guns. And there are some big shows, things coming up on the channel that, trust me, you don't want to miss. It is just great. And me, Ozzy, Rich, cannot thank you all enough. And all the contributors that are coming in. It is amazing. From Vader to Alan to Pat to Andy now, who will, it's just amazing. It really is. And it's a credit to you all that you have supported us and stayed with us. But hopefully, we'll try and hit that 2,000 together by the start of June. But if not, as long as we can get as close as we can to it, that would be amazing. But we are on the regular now hitting over 1,200 views on the regular, which is a credit to you all. So big thank you. If you want to, hopefully there may be an early bird show at some point. Because Danny, this is for Tony Quizzer, because he will be listening or watching back. Danny's come alive again, Tony. So hopefully there may be an early bird show coming up.
Yeah, I spoke to Danny yesterday. He's keen to get a show going on Friday night here in Australia. So keep an ear out for that over the weekend, guys. SoundCloud, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. The early bird, BERT.
And you can catch Alan down at the Good Samaritan phone line. We'll flash it up on the screen at some point. Great show. Thank you, Julia. Thank you so much. Chris, thank you. Well done, Matt. I've been watching the early days. Thank you so much. That is really appreciated. And anyone who's new, I've had so many DMs on Twitter lately and Instagram telling me that they've come over from City Extra and Never a Foul, and they're loving it. And that means a lot. And Andy's sending everyone over from the 9320 podcast as well. I am going to be on there on tomorrow, talking with Arsenal fans, and I'll be on there on Thursday about 7:30 talking with Terry Phelan, former City left back. And
was that tomorrow? Was that all tomorrow?
No, that'll be Friday for us, Alan.
And we're also going to have a chat. It is confirmed with Big Joe Corrigan.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
That's impressive.
Yeah. Well,
it's good. Me and Andy have been working very hard to get all this set up. Trust me.
Good. Well done. Well done to the pair of you.
I'll miss tomorrow's.
I'll miss tomorrow's because I'm on a plane back to Melbourne. So I'll see you all in Imperial.
But big thank you to you all. You are amazing, each and every one of you. We couldn't do it without you. It would be nothing. Have a race with Teddy Phelan? No chance.
He's quick. He was very quick, to be fair, wasn't he?
Martin on the Avengers? I don't know yet. I've not been asked. If I get asked, I get asked. I'm on. If I don't, I'm not. But I did have a lovely DM from someone telling me that, you know, they thought it was great. But thank you for that. It's really appreciated. Yeah. Have a lovely evening.
Martin, send me the link for the charity thing as well, Martin, so I'll pay it in. Okay?
Love it when I win bets.
He won a bet. Martin he's been texting me before the game started today. You owe me 20 quid.
Take care. Have a lovely evening. And
All
sit
right,
there. I tell
Take
you,
care, everyone.
everyone apart at the moment. And we long may it continue. It's going to be a busy old time to be a Manchester City fan, but enjoy it. When lose or draw, just enjoy it. Take care, all. Good night.